A very good day to my friends around the world as we seek to analyze the changing situation. I'm not going to call it a new world order. I have been speaking on the subject for over 8 years. I spoke of how the United States, led by a president who is so egocentrical that he would not consider destroying half the world to achieve what he wanted, would come in, create new alliances, break old systems, and take the world dangerously towards war. It is the Asian century starting off on a bloody note. They've managed to clip half of Asia into the Western net. Arab money and Indian manpower, intelligence, and strategic placing. Russia and China, while standing alone, have undoubtedly met their strategic requirements. There will not or may not be a war in the Persian Gulf because Russia has placed strategic weapons and other deployments to curtail that. So sadly, while Lebanon and Yemen have paid a gruesome price in lives, Syria has been paying this continuously. Iraq, due to its massive puddles of oil, has not yet had to succumb to this. But Iran has found its soulmate, and with the $400 billion Chinese investment potential, it has covered its back pretty well. So where does conflict seem to rear its head? Well, China finessed India in Kashmir, and the much vaunted Indian move on Gilgit-Baltistan has been thwarted. India would like to say momentarily. I don't think it would have the courage to move beyond the point. So, what does seem to be rampaging? And that is sadly going to be Israel under Netanyahu. And our much long predicted letting loose the dogs of war between Egypt and Iraq will be sooner or later a reality which cannot be ignored. So there will be conflict. It cannot end here if certain parts of that conflict have been curtailed. Where does it leave Joe Biden? Well, he started very strong. I told one of his very close aides, whom I happen to know, beware. He foxed Hillary Clinton into believing she was safe and beyond his rapprochement. And she got taken in Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Again, the maths is not really being considered. With the exception of Pennsylvania, which may not be as close, the last 3 blue states that went red are fighting within a 5% or less than that level of inaccuracy. And God forbid if those states go back to Trump along with the ones he took last time as red states. And the worst amongst them is the one with the big bag, Florida. I would say he is spinning the same web again. And if he does manage to bring himself again to the fore, then there will be war, gentlemen. There will be war. He cannot be stopped. And he will not allow himself to be stopped. He will take vengeance on all those radicals and weaklings and liberals that he refers to contemptuously all the time, and teach them lessons with his infinite power. And he's not about to give up the American presidency easily. If you heard that very, very horrible statement by the Attorney General 2 nights ago, or what he would do if they tried to cheat through the postal system, there has yet to be any sort of real evidence, and there is none, as most say, on postal systems. But they are really afraid and aware. And then there's so many other games to be played. You have to be in by a certain date or postmarked by a certain date for those postals. A lot of the people voting may not know these finer or so-called finer attributes to the postal voting system. Well, they have a game plan there. More than that, he sadly drugged Boris Johnson into leaving the European Union, where today everyone asks him, are you with the European bloc, the American bloc, or the Chinese-Russian bloc? And like a bad dose of COVID, he just seems blocked, poor chap. Bad days ahead. They're reviving the East India Company. No longer is DFID, as created by Tony Blair to help the world, be allowed to function. It has been merged into the Foreign Ministry so that there will be ample quid pro quo for anything they do anymore. Sounds familiar? Watch out. We are moving from what were once liberal and well-hashed ideas to a lot of what was not acceptable after the Second World War. What I do say is, careful. The big money is now so big that it cannot be ignored. It is easily put into $500 million yachts and mansions, even billion-dollar homes now you will see all over the place. So people are putting money, much like the kings of yore. And the policies of nations have shifted to colonizations like before. I don't know where this is taking the world, but I do know that sooner or later it would lead to the unraveling of the United Nations. GATT has gone, matter of time before IMF and the World Bank find themselves to be inadequate. These are not predictions, these are analysis of current trends. And there will be severe consequences, but with Donald Trump, if he returns, and there is now in my mind no doubt that he will stand a chance. It'll be like, for the third time after Gore and Clinton, that a losing presidential candidate had more popular votes than a conniving successive one. I pray for Biden. For the rest of the world, it's not going to be easy anyway. The trends that have been activated, the Black Lives situation in America is not going away, and neither is the strong attributes towards the police behaving way out of line. Don't forget, it's only till 1926 that the head of white America was in fact the dean of Harvard University. So much more to talk about, but the world is not heading into a direction that I can say with pride or comfort that we have nothing to worry about. Thank you.